Hi guys,
I'm Jerry.
I'm Sierra,
We're ladies.
and we tangent.
Jerry, don't you dare! Don't you dare! What's up, everyone? Hello.
It finally feels good in this office.
It does
girl.
feel good in here.
Ooh, I don't know how long it's gonna last because
Yeah.
it is over 90 degrees today.
Yeah.
But our air conditioning is finally working.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on right now, right?
Correct. It's not on.
Okay, so we'll see. We'll see how long we
it
can
lasts.
last. But right now, I feel chilly.
I feel good. I
like
feel like
it.
this blanket's necessary.
Yes.
And it's not just because my shorts are the same size as my boxers.
Been there. Been
It's
there.
fine.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have for me?
I
I knew you did. I could tell.
I have my adventures with my sister saging the house.
Okay, tell us all about
Okay,
it.
so rewind, because I don't know if I mentioned this on the main episode or if I just talked about it on the
just
Patreon.
on the Patreon.
So we did a Patreon live where we selected some cameo winners, and we did. Well, actually, this was just for the silly geese. So
It was.
this fuckable bunnies. You don't even know about this, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, maybe Camp Tangent people know.
Yeah, perhaps.
Fucking, who cares? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna repeat it.
None of that matters.
Fucking cares. So, my sister moved back from Arkansas. She is living locally again, and she is living in the home that we grew up in. As she's been staying there, she's noticed that the energy feels just kind of like thick.
Yeah, and I will tell you, as someone who's spent many a nights there while we were younger, there's
It's always been thick. It's not new. That's not a new feeling.
there's an energy there.
There's always been an energy there.
It feels a little spoopy.
We have all seen similar spirits there. We've all seen a woman in a white dress in our parents' bedroom. We've seen a little boy there. We have seen, I remember seeing our family's dog there.
That one I saw a lot. Or felt him.
Yes.
You ever, like...
Well, I have something about that too.
Because one time I feel like I was spending the night in your bed, and I woke up and there was like hot dog breath because your dogs would come in, and there was no dog there
Yeah.
panting on me. And I was like, there's no dog in this room, but I just felt
Hot dog breath? I know what you mean.
like hot.
Warm,
Not hot dogs.
like canine breath, but yeah, not hot dog. Like hot dog water.
That's a way you never want to get woken up.
No. But there was also like a man who would walk. Like I would hear walking a lot. And anyone who would spend the night in my sister's room, the one who's now currently living there, they never could sleep in that room.
That was
Like
true because I would spend the night in Jerry's and it was kind of spooky, but my sister was obviously better friends with her sister because they're
'Cause they're the
closer
same
in
age,
age. And she was like, I hated spending the night in Sam's
No
room.
one could sleep in that room except Sam, and even Sam didn't sleep well
Yeah.
in that room. There was something up with her closet.
Yeah.
So she reached out to Susan, and if you are also listeners of Creeps and Crimes, Taylor and Morgan talk about Susan all the time.
Yeah.
So my sister Sam reached out to Susan and has been working with her, trying to figure out what do I do
Crazy.
with this energy in my house.
Mhm.
And Susan is like, all right, let me tap in, let me see what's going on. And first thing she says is, what did this used to be? What was this? And my sister's like, a house?
What do you
It was
say?
a house, and before that I think it was just land.
Yeah.
It was like farmland that was like maybe parceled off and sold. Like it was, from what I remember, the house that I grew up in was the house that my grandma lived in.
Mm-hmm.
And then next door, they built the house that then my mom grew up in.
Oh,
So
okay.
they lived in our house before building the house that then they moved into. And then they had owned land behind it where like the chicken coop was. And so there was like farmland that then they parceled off and sold to that now other people built on.
Interesting.
So as far as I had ever known, it was always a house.
Yeah. Because I wondered, because you were close to a lot of your family members
Yes.
in that same area.
Yes,
It was like 3 houses all in the same.
And it was because that
They owned all that
they
land.
owned all that land.
Interesting.
So Susan says to my sister, I would bet money that at some point this was a cemetery. There is so much death
Oh,
on this land.
no.
And my sister goes, well, we have a lot of dogs very here. She's like, no.
We have had a lot of golden retrievers.
No, she's like, no, they're there, but that's not what I'm talking about. She goes, there is death here, like death. There is thick.
Do you think
energy,
it was like a part of a some kind of a war or something?
I don't know. I don't know if it's like indigenous. Yeah. I don't know, because we do have indigenous like land here.
Oh yeah, in Ohio. Yeah,
yeah. So like, I'm not sure if it's that, but she made it seem like it's a graveyard of some sort.
Oh,
but she says that the dark energy that she believes is in the closet in my sister's attic, which my sister didn't tell her about this closet. She didn't tell her about her room. Like, this is Susan is.
It was that not before you said it to my sister?
Yes.
When you were telling her about this, she said that.
Yes.
Your sister's room and her closet before you even mentioned any of this.
Yes. She's like, there's a man who's attached to the land, which Reggie, if you guys remember, Reggie, the medium that I had connected with when I was in college, he also said there was a man who was attached to the land who's there.
Oh,
he said that he's like, he goes, he's not anything, he just walks, which to me, that's
ominous.
That was all that I ever knew, is that he just walked. I would just hear him on the steps and stuff.
That feels more ominous because where are you going? What are you
down
doing?
the hallway.
Why?
Making my way downtown.
I just assume he's got that in his earpieces. It's just up and down the hall. I don't fucking know. So, but like, why? Why is that? Imagine you die, and then for the rest of your time, that's your purpose? Walking up and down a hallway? Why?
Maybe if it was a graveyard, maybe he's like the keeper. Yeah, maybe he's doing the graveyard shift. You know what I mean?
I'm sick.
So she's like, but he's not happy. He's like a dark, angry energy, and
He's an angry.
I guess so. She's like, you're probably gonna have to sage your house like 3 times.
Oh
you're
my
probably
God.
gonna have to do this. Like, you're gonna have to chase him out. He does not want to leave. He doesn't want to go. He wants to be here.
Chase is crazy.
I know.
I'm not chasing shit.
Yeah, she goes, you are going to have to chase him out of the house. And she said, Sam was like, well, what about the little boy? Because we've all seen this little boy. And she said, he is not like bad. He is just kind of like a menace in a way. He just does like
Dennis.
Yeah, he does just like mischievous stuff.
Cute.
And he just doesn't, he knows he's dead, but he just doesn't want to cross over.
Oh, that's so sad. For some reason, kids knowing they're dead is so sad to me. That's sad.
So, she's like, you have to give him a choice. Like, you have to tell him, like, you can't stay here anymore. You have to go to the light.
But he likes it.
Does he? He's causing problems.
Okay.
And he's
sad for this.
And he's hanging out with this man who's not happy.
That's
He's
true.
mean and
That's
mad.
true.
The energy's thick.
You need to send him back to his family, probably.
Well, that's what we tried to do.
Okay.
So my sister, Sam, the middle one, calls on a dual FaceTime and is talking to me and our younger sister, Randy. And she's explaining what Susan has told her and saying, hey, I need help. What I need to do is I need to open all the doors, all the drawers, everything in the house, top to bottom, start in the basement, and I need to go every single room, and I need to sage the whole house to clear out the energy, make sure it gets out of the house. I need to imagine it going out. And I need somebody to follow me around with a bell, ringing a bell to make sure that there's a higher vibrational energy following me in order to make this work. And Randy and I are like, best wishes.
That sounds crazy.
She's looking at us like, any takers? And we're like, nope, not at all.
Couldn't be me.
And we're like, so is your husband gonna help you? And she's like, well, I need someone to have the kids. And we're like, oh, we'll take your kids. Like, yeah, we can do that. Like, not a problem. No worries. But there's 2 of us, right? We don't both need to take our kids. So Randy says, I will take your kids and your dog. And I said, I will follow you around with a bell. So, and then which Sam then says, Susan told me that would happen. She said one of your sisters will take your kids and the other will step up and help you with your house.
I don't like when bitches know my next move.
I mean, neither.
said no disrespect.
And then
I call everybody bitch.
Immediately, I didn't want to do it anymore. I was like, I don't want to do it.
Now you already know my next move out.
Now I feel like you tricked me into doing it. I don't want to do it. So I did do it, okay? And I got there, and I said, hold on, because this isn't plugged in. Was it a ghost? Is that the reason that the audio is fucked up for the first part of that? Could have been. Or it could have been that I just got so distracted by Love Island and talking about it that I forgot to plug everything in.
That could be it as well.
And I looked down and I was like, oh my God, the laptop's not plugged in. I'm nervous that it's going to die and then we're going to lose everything. And then I realized, oh my fucking God, I never plugged in the mics. Anyway, so I get to the house and I'm like, so where's this bell that I need to follow you around with? And she's like, here it is. And the bell says, ring for blowjobs. So I'm like, this is the bell that you have? And she's like, this is all I could find.
Great,
like,
great.
Is this that's what you want me to use? This is the high vibration that you want me to follow you around with? Mm-hmm. What if these ghosts are never going to leave?
Ring for blowjobs? I'd say.
They're never going to want to leave. This man's like, you sure thing.
You rang?
Here I am.
Wait, does that mean he has to give you a blowjob?
Or maybe he thinks I'm ringing it to give one? I don't know.
How do these bells work? I've never seen one.
I've never given a ghost blowjob.
Really?
A ghost job.
You should try it.
Have you given a ghost job?
Maybe.
How'd it go?
Pretty good.
What comes out? Plasma?
I mean, it's better than the original stuff.
It's better than the alternative. Come.
Disgusting. You need to know that I had a horrific, and by horrific, I mean awesome sex dream the other day, but you were there. Well, that sounded weird.
Fix it. Fix it.
It doesn't get any better.
Fix it.
So in my dream, I bought my old house, the one that I lived in as a child. Oh my God, much like Sam. Very weird.
Which one?
The one that was in front of the creek.
Okay.
Me and Corey built it or bought it for some reason. And I remember in my dream thinking, this house is a shithole and my house is nice. Why did we buy this house?
Fair.
That was my subconscious thinking through.
Fair.
Anyways, while we're there, Corey's like, I'm feeling real. And I was like, I've been feeling real. Like we need to,
Let's
smash
get
our
it
genitals
on.
together.
Yep.
As one does.
Bumping uglies.
So we're up in the attic, which is where my bedroom used to be.
With the ants.
Yes, disgusting. Why do my parents hate me so much? Anyways.
Your dad wasn't there.
Yeah. You hate someone who's not there. Anyways, okay. So that's a fair point to make. So basically, we're getting ready to do the business. He's got his pants off. I've got my pants off. Okay, we're on an air mattress. I think 'cause we're moving in. It's new.
Yeah.
It's fun. We're having a good time. You come bursting in the door. Here's what I didn't realize was that we were having a party at our house, and I don't know why we decided to throw this party while we were fucking.
A welcome home party?
And you were like, Brady is having an allergic reaction right now. Corey, you need to get downstairs. He's allergic
does have
to
a
everything.
lot of allergies.
He's allergic to everything.
This is a very realistic dream.
I know, and I was like, Jerry, out of here. Our pants are off.
Although I would never interrupt. I would be like, Brady, can you please? You're being rude. Going into anaphylactic shock. What do you want me to do right now? They're fucking.
Like, his mom is a nurse too. Go get Susan. You ripped the covers off of us. Corey's dick is out.
What is his dick double as like a fucking EpiPen?
I was like, Jerry, please get out of here. And you were like, I'll go get Susan. And then my sister runs in and she's like, we really need you, Corey. And I was like, can we put our pants on, please?
How long does it take you to get pants on? Was the mood not ruined?
I think we thought we could still get back to it.
Oh my God.
I don't know what was happening in my dreams. But then I woke up and I was like, I'm horny, I think.
Can I tell you, I had a dream that we were doing it in a pool.
Yeah, sure.
And
ew. I'm never going swimming at your place. Disgusting.
It was a dream.
Okay. Sure. So
anyway.
I don't know know what position we're in. And he looks at me and he goes, we're hopping all around this pool. And I could not stop laughing because he was right. And we were hopping all around that pool. And because it's a dream and things are a little wonky in a dream, the pool's not level.
Yeah,
so we were like close to drowning because we started on the shallow end and slowly got deeper. And I was like, oh, now how am I going to get back into this? I got the giggles now. I can't focus. Anyway, I'm ringing a blowjob bell for the ghost.
Okay, we're back to it.
We're back. I said, this is what you want me to use? And she said, well, it's either that or you got to follow me around and bang a pot and pan together. And I said, I'm choosing the blowjob bell.
Yeah. I don't get no sleep because of y'all. Y'all not gonna get no sleep because of me.
That's exactly what I did. Yes. That's exactly what I did. And honestly, we didn't get a lot of sleep because of the ghosts.
I know.
And then they weren't going to get any sleep because we were going to kick them out of our house.
You got to get out.
So before we could start, there was a couple of things we needed to do.
Okay.
I had a moonstone crow in my pocket because they're good for protection.
Yeah.
I had a couple bracelets on. I had a necklace on that Sam gave me. I poured salt into my shoes because I couldn't.
Oh my God, that sounds gritty.
Salt circles. I did it like under my socks, so it wasn't on my feet.
I feel like it could seep in.
Maybe, but I couldn't do a salt circle around myself.
No, sure.
So I thought if I had it on my shoes,
person?
then I'm carrying it around with me. I'm protected.
Okay.
So
I get the
then Susan told us that if we told her what time we were doing this, that she from another state would cover us with love and light. And so that it would help protect us from getting our energy drained and from like having anything attached to us and whatever. So we first needed to ground. So we went outside. It was raining.
Oh.
So I had to take my shoes off and I had to put my feet in the earth. And we had to imagine love and light pouring into us. We had to imagine a bubble around us of
to
protection.
the salt in the shoes with your feet in the dirt.
Well, I took my shoes off.
Yeah. What about your socks?
Yeah, I took those off too.
So now you're putting your dirty toes back in your socks?
Yes.
Ew, Jerry.
I had bigger issues. I'm trying to keep demons from attaching to me.
I know, but my sensory issues are freaking out right now.
So anyway, hey, I have video evidence of this because there are cameras in this house and outside of it.
Period. Okay,
So,
okay.
We walk outside and I'm like, the neighbors are going to see us standing in the yard and be like, the Heron girls are being weird again. They're being weird again. So we go in and we go to the basement. And we start, first of all, we cannot get this thing lit. We had to Google how to get it to stay lit because it could not.
What are you lighting?
The sage.
Oh,
the sage
I was
bundle.
like, you're lighting the bell on fire.
The house on fire. It's actually toast.
You have to light the bell on fire. I was like, you're ringing a fire bell?
No.
Oh,
we had
the
to light
sage.
the sage.
Okay, I understand.
And also, I understand that sage is a sacred thing in indigenous in those practices.
There's
and
a specific kind of sage that they use, though. That is that's closed off.
Yes,
correct.
And so, like, this was I was following directions given to me by my sister that were given to her by her Susan, and I don't know.
I heard that from an indigenous listener. It's not all sage.
Yes,
that is closed off. So it's only a specific type that is like a I think white
sacred
sage. Yeah, that is one that is like closed practice. You don't utilize that if you're not indigenous.
And I don't believe that's what it was.
I didn't think it was.
I don't know though. So apologies. I'm just retelling a story. Just focus. I only handled the blowjob bell. Okay.
Okay.
So you were supposed to start in the bottom corner and you were supposed to go counterclockwise around the room. And you're supposed to say, like, if you are not for my highest good, if you are not of love and light, then you must leave. You are not welcome here.
Okay.
And so we're going around the entire house, every single room. And it's a pretty decent sized house, and there's a lot of shit in that house.
Yeah. I've been in there.
Multiple people have been moving
In and out. And just leaving
There's lots
shit
of
behind.
there are lots of boxes. So we had to do it with the sage, and then we had to do it with the Palo Santos, and then she went through with some kind of a spray. I don't know if I started to get high,
Okay.
or if the energy just started to feel lighter.
Okay.
But at some point, I just started to get silly.
Okay.
And I got a little scared that maybe the spirits were thinking that I was like going to be disrespectful. But I thought maybe they were just having a good time with me, because I started going around in the rooms and I was going, love and light. Ringing this fucking bell. Going, love and light. We the best.
Another one.
I would like to show you the videos. Okay.
We the best music. DJ Khaled.
Because how can you also, there's a treadmill.
BJ Bell.
Absolutely. There's a treadmill in my sister Randy's old room
Okay.
that Brady and I said we would take, and we can't get it out.
Yeah,
it is
no one can
so
get it out.
difficult to take apart. We cannot get it out of there, and so we left it. Like, there's nothing we could do about it. And so we walked in there and we were like, if you are not for my highest good, treadmill, get out, treadmill. Sam also got too close to the wall a couple times and literally hit the sage on the wall. So she like was trying to brush it off, brush off the ash.
Did you say Simba? Because of the ash?
She goes, I already feel better. I feel like we're giggling. I was like, I think we're high.
I think we've been inhaling too much of what this is.
Okay, here's this one.
Oh, that was so funny. She looks straight into the camera. That's so loud.
You're not for the highest good. Get out.
Go on, get.
Love and light. Love and light. Look towards the light. We the best. Trying to keep the energy the same. We the best. No, world premiere.
So that's funny. We the best. We the best.
She did tell me that it felt better.
Okay, good.
She said it felt better. And then my brother-in-law sent me this and he goes, what are you guys doing? This is us in the yard before we started.
That is horrifying.
So
that's so funny.
they were really nervous. Like, Susan was nervous that like candles were gonna blow out, that like lights were gonna shut off, that we were gonna. I did see a shadow before we started. I was like, there was a shadow figure over there. Sam recently saw the little boy. He's still there. He didn't leave. He's still there, and he's in this. She saw him in the same spot that I saw the shadow figure. So I think he was
No.
hiding. And then the upstairs light would not turn off when we were done. Like, there's a switch in the like front room when you walk in the house that can turn the upstairs light on and off. And if you went to turn it off, it would start to turn off, and then you'd flip it all the way and it would turn back on. So it would not turn off.
Ew.
She said it felt better.
Okay.
And then
Maybe some of the meanness went away, but they're gonna stay still.
maybe we still have to, she says we were going to have to do it 2 more times.
Oh my God.
I know. So I have to do that 2 more times.
Jesus.
So there's that. But I asked her today because I had this really hyper realistic dream. And when I have hyper realistic dreams, sometimes they're like not dreams. They're like messages.
Yeah.
I think that the dogs came with me.
The dead dogs?
Yes.
Jerry.
I think my dead dogs came home with me.
What?
I do. And I'll tell you why I think that. Because I have heard running up my stairs. I've heard scratching on the back of my doors.
Do you feel the hot dog breath? Hot dog breath?
Well, Hazel has hot dog breath,
Yeah, she
so
does.
it's hard to tell. But like, and I don't mean scratching as like scary. It sounds like
Dogs pawing to get in.
yes, to the point where like I'll open the door to let one of the dogs in, and there's no one there. And I had a dream where Sam was like, "I talked to Susan, and the dogs went with you. They're not here anymore." And the dogs, like I used to be really, really close with the
Your
dogs.
dogs, yeah.
Like really, really
How many
fucking
of yours
close.
are buried there?
3.
That's what I thought.
Tanner, Logan, and
Joe. Duncan.
wait, 4 then.
Yeah. Joe
Tanner.
and Duncan.
No, Joe's not there.
Okay.
Joe's not
I didn't
there.
think so because
Joe
she
was
just
cremated.
passed. Yeah.
So Tanner, Logan, Duncan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're all
You were very close to Tanner. I know that.
very close to Tanner,
That was when we were little kids.
pretty close to Duncan.
Yeah.
Pretty cloose to Joe.
Yeah.
Logan was my mom. That was the one that my mom said was my dad.
Yeah. Logan was like Logan passed when we were like 6 or 7, right?
Yeah.
Real young. Then you
Yeah.
got Tanner. I know you. Tanner was
Tanner was
I
my
love Tanner.
dog.
Tanner was
Tanner
my
was
dog,
my
dude.
dog. Yeah. Tanner died in like one of the most horrifying ways. I
was
think I've talked
really
about it
sad.
before.
Really sad.
But so my parents have a pool that is like half in ground, half above ground. They just buried an above ground pool. And in the wintertime, they have a winter cover over it. But when it snows or rains a lot, like the water will settle in it. And sometimes Tanner would go over there and try and drink the water on top of it. And he slipped in and fell in, and he was in there for hours.
yeah.
We found him, and by we, I mean like my mom did. I was in college, so I didn't know. But my mom found him and got him out, and he was still alive.
Yeah.
But it was not good. He had gotten a lot of damage, and so they ended up having to put him down not long after that. It was horrible.
Very, very sad.
Yeah.
Oh. And I feel like those are when the spirits tend to stay too, when it's a sad passing.
Mhm.
Do you think your hamster spirit's still there?
I told you, was never there. He's in the sewer system. He's teaching turtles karate.
Okay, well,
and you know that.
I thought he died there in the home.
I don't know. He didn't. I didn't flush him. My dad flushed him.
Oh, okay. So do you have anything else?
I don't think so.
I can't say that I've got anything story-wise, but I do have something I'm bringing for you to the table today. Do you know what it is?
Did I tell you about me almost accidentally cuddling with Corey at your birthday party?
What? Oh, yeah, did we talk about my birthday party?
We didn't talk about your birthday party at all.
Yeah, we always gloss over me. Kidding.
We didn't really talk about my birthday, I don't think either.
We didn't go out for your birthday.
Exactly. That's how we glossed over it.
Well, to be fair, nobody threw me a birthday party. I invited everybody
That's
out for my
true.
birthday because for this year, all I wanted for my birthday was for everybody to hang out and have a good time together. That was it.
My
I was
birthday
like,
is in the middle of the week.
Yeah, and
Then we
this
had
was the
camp
first time in a
tangents.
while that my birthday was on a Friday.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck yeah, my birthday's on a Friday. Let's all go out. We never go out
Yeah.
anymore. I haven't seen some of my friends that came, like Kristen, in a long time. So I invited everybody that I knew out, and a lot of people were able to come, and that was really cool.
Brady tried to get comp time last minute, and they were going to give it to him, and then it ended up not working out. And so I still went out.
Yeah.
And when we were at the one bar, I was sitting next to Corey.
Yeah.
and I was talking to Matt and Nicole.
Yeah.
And as I was talking to them, for whatever reason, I just felt like a warmth.
Yeah.
And I almost leaned over and I looked at him and I go, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And he was like, "What?" And I go, "I just thought you were Brady." Like I felt a Parsons familiarity and like a familiar warmth.
Yeah.
And I thought you were Brady and I almost cuddled you. And he goes, "We were cuddling long before you were with Brady."
And that's a
And I
fact.
was like, that is true. And that's my bad. Here I come.
And that's okay because I didn't get any pictures with my husband at all, but here's me nuzzling with his twin brother. I have several photos of me and Zach.
Well, then you kind of have one.
We matched. We
You did
matched, and I
match.
thought it was amazing. I was like, "This is so cute." Me and Zach matched. It was very funny because Zach's girlfriend Carrie actually matched with Corey. We end up doing that a lot accidentally. It's very fun.
I showed a picture to my kids, and it was us in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And their first question was, "Where are we?" And I was like, "Well, you didn't come to my show in Indianapolis. So I don't know what to tell you." But they were like, I said, "Who is this?" And they were like, "I don't know who that is." And I said, "That's Tay Tay. We need to go around her more then if you don't know who that is."
Yeah.
And I said, "Who's this?" And they said, "That's Corey." And I go, "No." And he goes, "Ugh, it's Zach. Corey and Zach look the same because they're twins." And I was like, "You are right. You are right." They were so annoyed that they got it wrong.
I said something one time. This was when Noah was little. I said something. I was like, "Go to Zach." And he's like, "Zach who?" And I was like, "Corey's twin." He's like, "Which one is Corey's twin?" I'm like, "It's the one that looks exactly like him." What are you fucking saying to me right now?
Noah
Are you
is rage
fucking-
bait in human form.
He loves it. I'm like, "Noah, what are you saying?" I love that kid. But he does. He does love to rage bait. Just me, I think, and other
Yeah.
adults. But I do it back to him because that's when we were doing the skippities.
Oh yeah, we were.
The Rizzler.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We were trying to get him to tell us what his favorite cuss word was, and he wouldn't tell us.
oh my god, because I know he cusses with his friends. I think it's fine.
I
I've told him.
looked at him and I go, "You say shit? You give me shit vibes." And he goes, "That's what does that mean?" I feel like that's not nice. And I was like, "Why? You look like shit would be your favorite word.
Yeah.
Shit's a good word. Do you say shit?" And he looked at me and he goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
Yeah.
I was like, "I knew it. I knew
I'm like, I knew it. I can read you to Phil. Shit word, motherfucker.
Shit word saying mother bitch.
Mother bitch. Anyways, oh yeah, but I didn't tell you that I almost got into it with some guy who tried to fight me at the strip club.
Because we got out and Sierra was
yeah,
like,
by
"Oh,
the way-
fuck, I forgot my wedding ring."
Yeah, we go out. So we're all going out. Originally, I invited people to dinner, not everybody, because I stress out about a lot of people at dinner. So I only invited a select few. So we go out to dinner. And while we're there, I'm like, fuck, I forgot my wedding ring because I just got it. I lost a stone on my honeymoon and it was very sad. And the bands weren't soldered together. So I was like, I'm going to get the stone fixed. Get a warranty on your motherfucking rings, people. That is what I'll tell you. Because I lost the stone within the first year of having this anniversary band. Lost a stone on it, and they did it like for
Covered
free.
it for free.
So get your shit warranted. Anyways, so I had just gotten it back, but I've been still taking it off when I shower, when I sleep, all the things because I'm nervous to lose another stone, even though I can get it, whatever. Anyways, so I take it off to do my makeup and after I shower and then I go out, forget that it's not on. I'm like, oh no. Jerry goes, hold on. I got my travel ring for vacation because we both got travel rings for vacation. And she's like, I have mine in my bag. I was like, sick. I put it on. Great.
Mhm.
Then we go out to a different piano bar. I almost fight a lady there. Mind you, I was loving light for my fucking
Love and light.
birthday. This is not going to be the whole episode. I swear I have something for you guys. But we're just doing a little bit of a catch up. I'm sorry. Don't hate me.
We have stories for once.
I have stories. So we're doing Love and Light. Okay. But then, and when we first got into this place, there was nowhere to sit. And again, I've got a big group of people coming. I don't ever do this shit. I know as somebody who used to serve what an annoyance a big group of people is. But the actual owner of the place comes up to us and is like, I said, I'm sorry.
Oh my
There's
God,
a lot
I
of
forgot
us.
you did almost fight this woman.
I said, I'm sorry. There's a lot of us. We can go. And he goes, no. And I was like, oh, okay. The owners don't want you to leave,
Yeah.
obviously. So he was like, no. We'll make it work. You guys can take this big table here. And then when the rest of your people come, this one up here will move over. And I was like, oh, we can move this table together. He's like, yeah, not a problem at all. I said, great. I said, they're not coming for a minute. So he's like, okay, no worries. No one's sitting there as long as no one sits there. They took the chairs away from it. So it was essentially reserved for us.
Yes.
So no one would sit there. And I was like, sick. So we're sitting there for a while. We're drinking. Everybody's having a good time. There's live music. We're all having fun. And then my friends, Kristen and her boyfriend, show up. So I'm like, okay, we got extra people coming. I said, hi. And then there's no chairs. So I go, don't worry. I'm going to take this table. I start moving the table. Waitress comes over to me. And she says to me, she's like, you can't move that table. And I was like, oh, that man over there literally just told me that I could when they come. And she was like, that guy? And I said, yeah. And she's like, that's the owner. I was like, And she was like,
yeah.
well, then, yeah, absolutely. Let's move it. She helps me move it over.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the people behind us, old blonde bitches. Clock that. You know what time it is, okay? But they're looking at me with hate in their hearts. They're looking at me like they're pissed that I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
You know those types of middle-aged women who are just like, I'm mad that you're young and having fun.
You came over
And I'm
here.
34, babe, so I'm almost there.
You ordered an espresso martini. I watched you flick the bean. And then you ate peanut butter mousse. I'm mad.
I'm mad that you're having a
I'm mad that you're happy.
Literally. So as this is all happening, mind you, the table that I just moved over has no chairs. So I'm like, I gotta find chairs.
I need chairs.
So I'm running around to different tables, taking one a piece from different ones that people are not using. There was one beside the table that had stuff on it still, but they had receipts on them. So I was like, no one's sitting here. I take a chair from there, move it to our table. I take one from the table beside the stank eye people, move it to our table. And then I take another one from the other side, move it to our table. One chair a piece from different tables, all not utilizing that chair. So I thought. So I don't realize until I'm like just looking behind me for a split second that the blonde lady who is pissed at me grabs her chair from her table, is staring at me, goes over to the table with the receipts sitting on it, and slams it down. I'm talking she fucking Hulk smash.
Slams
so
the
that
chair
the
down.
entire thing is like, boom. And the restaurant looks over at her and she looks at me and gives me this like smirk. And I go, you okay? Just like that. And she goes, they were still sitting there. And I go, that's all you had to say.
I think what you first said was, you good?
You good? Just like that. Because I was like, I can tell you're being a bitch right now.
Don't be
And she was
passive
like,
aggressive.
they were still sitting there. And I was like, that's all you had to say then. I said, I didn't know that.
Yeah, who knew that?
I didn't
It
know.
looked empty.
They looked completely empty.
Yeah.
All you had to say, because she watched me take the chairs, all she had to say was, hey, they're still sitting there.
Right.
Okay. Whoops.
Oh,
sorry.
my bad.
Can I take that chair you guys aren't utilizing? But I didn't come to your table because I could already tell you were looking at me like you're a bitch. So anyways, then we got into it a little bit more. I don't remember what words were exchanged, but she ignored me pretty much. I went to the bathroom several times just so I could stare at her a little bit. And she looked down at her menu every time. And I was like, yeah, you feel dumb right now.
Taylor was like, I thought I was healed, but as soon as I heard voices raised, I was like, oop. I felt the urge to take my earrings out.
And Krista comes in and she goes, please don't fight. I was like, I'm grown, but I will be pissy for a minute. I am going to give this lady some back talk because I'm not a server anymore.
Yeah.
And that deep-seated, like, ex-server, you're going to treat me like shit because you think you have money over me or that you think that you have some like superiority over me, that you can then treat me like shit and make me look dumb and feel dumb in front of this room of people.
Not
now
today.
I'm going to make you feel dumb. You stupid bitch. And then I'll hit you. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't hit anybody. Anyways, later on in the night, we end up going to the strip club. Okay? That's what you need to know. Is we did end the night at the strip club. Jerry and Nicole did not come. They're old and they went to bed. Fair enough.
No one is surprised.
I rounded my troops up. I said, we're going to the strip club.
What's
So we
so
did.
funny is Taylor was plotting from dinner to get Sierra to the strip club. And she kept saying, you can't ask her yet. You can't
You
ask
gotta
her
wait till
yet.
I'm
You have to wait until a specific time to present the information to her. And it was said early. And Sierra was like, we are absolutely not doing that. And Taylor glared at the person who had said it early.
Yeah.
And she goes, you said it too soon. She's not ready yet.
Then she said it again like 2 drinks later, and I was like, strip club, let's go. So we went, and the whole thing was not even that big of a deal. This guy just was looking me up and down as the bar was ending, and we were collecting our people to walk home because we were walking, obviously. And we're collecting everybody, and this guy's like, whoa, who are you? That's how I heard it.
That's how I heard him talk.
Holy fuck. Shit balls.
Oh, shit, fuck, wow.
Who's this bitch? And all I did, I looked at him and I was like, sorry. And I flipped my ring up. That's all I did. I was like, no. Also, it's 3 a.m. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm drunk. I don't fucking even care he got so pissed at me. And he was like, fuck you then. Like right into my face. Like heavy on the and I was like, first of all, what I do to you, brother? It's my birthday.
Yeah.
The fuck are you mad at me for? And Corey's standing behind me. He's like, what, is that your husband? Drinking White Claws? And I was like, for your information, those are my White Claws. And he's holding them like a good bitch.
Like my good bitch.
So excuse you. Then all of a sudden I'm turned around. I'm getting the girls. I look over. Corey is surrounded by his group of people. So I come in hot. I think they're trying to fight him. And I'm like, who wants some?
Sierra's just been itching to fight somebody all night.
I'm not a fighter whenever I get drunk. Let me tell you something. You know this. I'm a very love and light. Okay? I just want to dance and shake my ass. But I also am very protective of myself and my people.
Yeah.
So I thought my man was about to get jumped. And I was like, okay,
Not on my watch.
I'm coming in. And Corey's like, it's cool. They're apologizing. Like, I'm cool with them. I came over to make sure we were good. And I was like, you're so lucky, brother. 'Cause I would have been mad. Anyways, and that was it. It was no big deal.
I was about to shove this White Claw up your ass.
You ever have mango White Claw up your anal cavity?
It's about to be manal.
Mangle cavity. Anyways,
What do you have for me?
you don't know.
I don't.
You have no idea.
And I never do.
Give me a guess.
I don't want to.
Okay, then I'll tell you.
Okay.
So everybody liked when we did our Greek mythology-esque
Okay.
episode on Calypso,
Okay.
right? Because
Aphrodite.
close. No.
Okay.
Give me another one. Who do you think we're doing?
Is it a woman?
Yes.
Okay. Hera.
No.
Fuck.
She's a bit of a misunderstood monstrous.
Snakes.
Medusa! We are doing Medusa.
Hell yeah. I want a Medusa tattoo.
You know I'm getting one. I have
On
mine
your leg?
scheduled.
You
Yep,
do? I didn't
yep,
know that's what you had scheduled.
Yep.
Fun.
Yeah, I'm getting my Medusa tattoo. Medusa tattoos are a big thing now, and I'll tell you why. You're
Yes.
gonna know in this little thing. So apologies, everybody. We do have something for you. Surprise! Sorry if this goes on for a long time.
It's a Medusa obligasla.
Exactly that.
2025.
Wait, where is it? Hold on, I'm gonna find it. No, that's the red hair thing again. That's not it.
Oh, thank you for bringing the red hair thing up again. I'm a stupid fucking idiot, and I'm a total liar. Do you know how many people with freckles I know?
Yeah.
Who are not black,
I
who are
have
not mixed,
freckles.
and who are not a redhead?
Yeah.
I know. My
I have quite a
cousin,
few, and I don't know why I didn't say that. I was just like, yeah, that makes sense.
my cousin Allison has black hair. Like
Yeah, lots
jet
of-
black hair, and she has so many freckles.
She does. She
Like,
does.
I know so many people who have freckles who don't fall into the categories that I said. Like,
yeah,
I'm so dumb. Like,
it's okay.
why do I have a microphone? Who let me have this job?
That's the thing is, guys, we say dumb shit all the time. Well, because I think people were kind of on me. They were like, Sierra, you accidentally talk shit about a lot of people because I was saying people with brown hair and brown eyes are plain. And let me just say that is a bad thing that I do, to where if Jerry is feeling some type of way and I feel like I've upset her, the main thing I try to do is then degrade myself and make myself feel small. And I shouldn't have done that. And you're right. Because they were like,
there are other people who look
there
like
are other
me.
people who look like me. And that's not fair. You guys are goddesses. I was not. That is something I need to learn to not do, which is make myself feel smaller when I feel like I've unintentionally hurt somebody else's feelings or made them feel insecure. So I apologize. We are still baddies, even though we have.
You are smart and you're more likely to get hired for jobs. And
That's
you're more
not. I don't believe in that, but it's fine.
Yeah, that was more of a bit, I think.
It was. It was
None of that
supposed
was
to
real.
be.
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
That's why I said I was like, I think we were just joking, but maybe you don't understand my humor the way that I thought people did. And that's okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Medusa. Who was Medusa? She was one of the 3 Gorgons. Gorgons. They were a type of monster situation because their parents were Phorcys and Sato.
Okay.
Phorcys was, hold on, I have to find it.
Any related to Baxies?
Shut the fuck. Hey, by the way, none of this is going to be educational. I'm doing my best. Phorcys is the goddess of sea monsters. No, Phorcys is the sea god and the dangers of the hidden deep. Sato is the goddess of sea monsters and the dangers of the sea. So they're kind of sea gods and goddesses.
Okay.
Smaller than like Poseidon.
Yep.
But still sea gods and goddesses. And so
Poseidon.
they hive.
Poseidon.
They
Get
have
in the water. Sorry.
It's okay. They have Medusa, Stheno, and Uriel. I'm going to do my best with these names.
Okay.
They are Greek. Some of them have fully Greek letters. I'm not going to try with those ones. I can't even read that. But just know, those are her sisters. And now
Okay.
her sisters are immortal.
Okay.
They are like creatures. I don't want to call them monsters, but they are
Okay.
immortal beings.
Gotcha.
Medusa is not. She is a human somehow.
Okay.
Now, in some, I heard that she was born Medusa with the snakes.
Okay.
We're not going to go with those ones because that's a boring story.
Okay.
We're going to go with, and by the way, it's not that it's a better story or anything. It's just the more well received or like acknowledged story now.
Okay.
Because it's been happening more in like it was like 700 years later. These new people wrote a different story about her. So that's more well known, is that she becomes Medusa.
Gotcha.
But just so you know, there are trigger warnings for sexual assault. And I'm not going to mince words when I talk about it. So just know that. And obviously violence, because we're talking about Greek gods and goddesses. And guys,
Yeah.
that's just what comes with the territory. Unfortunate. Okay. So she is a human person.
Yes.
She decides she wants to become a priestess
Okay.
and devote her life to worshiping the goddess Athena, who
Okay.
is her goddess.
Okay.
Athena is the goddess of war, battles, things
Okay.
like that. I believe. Hold on. Let me double check that, because there's going to be somebody here that's like, that's not fucking right.
I feel like that is true though.
the virgin god. Okay. Athena was the virgin goddess of wisdom and battle. So yes.
Okay.
But one requirement to be a priestess for Athena is that the young women have to be virgins. They have to give their lives, sort of like nuns. They got to give
Gotcha.
their life fully to the goddess. And Medusa was beautiful. I'm
Right.
talking like a stunning, stunning, stunning beauty.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, no to men. I love Athena. I will worship my goddess. And
Yep.
that's what I'm giving my life up to. So she does. One day, though, Poseidon, the sea god, sees the god of the sea, and he is actually Athena's rival, mind you.
And I remember this.
Sees Medusa, and he becomes enthralled with her,
Yep.
just mesmerized by her beauty. And
This
he's
is gonna
like,
turn me
"I
off
want-"
Poseidon.
Yeah, sure the fuck is. And Athena, to be honest.
Great.
But Medusa is super loyal to being a priestess. So
Mhm.
when he comes to her and proposes, like, I want you to be my mate, I want you to be
Yeah.
my woman, I want to
Yeah.
impregnate you, basically.
Yeah.
She says, no, I'm a virgin. I don't do that. And so what does he do?
Takes it.
He, not only that, so he forces himself upon her,
Mm-hmm.
but he does it on the steps of Athena's temple. Hmm.
Poseidon, you absolute piece of shit.
Mhm. So on the most sacred place,
Yes.
he rapes her
Yes.
essentially, and then leaves her there. And leaving Medusa vulnerable and weak. She is very upset.
Mm-hmm.
And also, fuck you, Poseidon, if I haven't said that
Right.
enough. But So she prays. She's on the steps and she is praying and praying and praying to Athena for guidance, for forgiveness. She just wants her to accept her and understand that this wasn't her fault. Because basically in those days, if the gods claimed you as your mate, you were there forever.
Yeah.
So in this sense, she was kind of officially Poseidon's wife. And she's like, but that wasn't me. I didn't want to do that.
Right.
And so
Athena's like, tough.
Doesn't take it. She doesn't accept that. She is pissed and thinks that Medusa betrayed her. And so because she feels like she betrays her.
Athena's not a girl's girl, and that's what I know.
She's the worst. She's a victim blaming hoe. God damn it. In the worst way, because she takes what happened and not only is she jealous, but she's outraged that this feels like a slight to her because she was already kind of jealous of Medusa's beauty. So what does she do? She says, I'm going to isolate you on a faraway island.
What's up with them putting bitches on islands?
I know. And I'm going to curse you so that no man will ever want you again. And even if he does and you want him back, you'll never be able to have him because she turns her body to like this very cracked skin of stone kind of. And then she gets stone eyes, glossed over stone eyes and wild snakes for hair. And she looks like a monster essentially. And now anytime she looks at another person, they will die. They will turn to stone and die. So even if she would want to have companionship,
she can't.
She can't. She's completely isolated forever unless she dies.
So would this work on Poseidon?
What, to turn him into this?
Yeah.
I don't. That's
and
the
would
thing
it work
that I
on
don't
Athena?
understand. Why don't they turn that onto each other? But maybe it's because the gods, it was easier to do it to a human or a girl, a weak girl.
Like, but could she use that power now that she has
weak woman, let me say,
on Athena or on Poseidon?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. But now the gods know, so they're going to stay away.
Oh, it would be my absolute life's goal to fucking turn them to stone.
Well, now here's Medusa. She's alone on her island, but men keep coming to her, and they're coming for one of two reasons. Either one,
they're sent there
to murder her, because that was like something that was almost a, you know, if you can do this, now you get, you know, it's like a quest.
Yes.
That was like, you want to earn,
you got to vanquish the monster.
You got to take this monster out. Or they go there for lustful reasons, still believing of her beauty and hearing of her beauty and wanting to take that for their own. And so either way, she kills them all.
Right.
She kills every man that comes onto her island. Boom, you're dead.
Boom, you're done.
Fucking goodbye.
That is like the ultimate sad bitch island.
Her
and Calypso.
I know.
We're just collecting sad bitch islands.
That's why I was like, I could do the god.
It's a whole series of sad bitch islands.
But they're kind of sucky. And honestly, a lot of the goddesses, Hera included, and obviously Athena, and Aphrodite, if I'm being honest, they're real pick-me girls, kind of. And they're real jealous and real insecure. And I think that just goes to show that, I mean, this is no disrespect to anybody who believes in these things. I am not somebody who believes in like Christianity or the things in the Bible. To me, those are all stories. So don't take this as any sort of way. You can believe whatever you want, and I'm not faulting you for that. I'm telling you, I don't believe that is real. That's not my religion. So to me, these are all stories. And then
and you are holding them to the same standard that you would like
morality wise.
Yes. Like the whole Cain and Abel thing, or the whole like, hey, Abraham, sacrifice your son. And
I'm
like
just thinking, hey, the people, let's say that that's not, they didn't actually happen. And they are just words from man. Who the fuck is coming up with this shit? And why? What's wrong with you?
Are you good?
Are you fine?
Because methinks
no. So, anyone who steps onto her island is marked to death. Okay, for death. Excuse me. So that's not where this ends, though, because there's somebody called Perseus. Do you know about Perseus?
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you about Perseus. So Perseus, hold on. I'm not going to read that. There's some parts that I just feel like
Not
I
that.
don't need to read.
Definitely not that.
So Perseus is the son of Zeus, who took the form of a shower of gold, and Danae, who had been locked up by her father Acrisius, after he was told by an oracle that he would be killed by Danae's son. When Acrisius learned that Perseus had been born and was the son of the king of the gods, he put both Danae and her son Perseus into a chest and hurled them into the sea.
Jesus.
Okay. So stick with me. Danae is Zeus's lover.
Okay.
Okay. Acrisius learns that he's going to be killed by Perseus, throws him into the sea when he's a child.
Okay.
Baby, maybe. The chest eventually washes ashore
Right.
at the island of Seriphos, and then Perseus is raised by Dictys, the brother of Polydictys. Not Dictys. Dictys? Dictys. Dictys?
Quit saying dicties to me.
The brother of
Dictys?
Polydictys.
Polydictus?
We're going to say this. Who is
Polywannadictes?
Don't you dare. Who is the king of Seriphos? Okay?
Yep.
That's the king. They raise this boy
Percy Jackson.
because the king falls in. Pretty much.
Okay.
No. It's Perseus.
Okay.
Because the king falls in love with Danae, his mom.
Okay.
So, but
She
Perseus.
was a single mother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Perseus is pretty protective of his mom, though. Okay.
Right.
And so the king makes a plan to trick Perseus because he wants him out. He's like, your son's kind of being a cockblock.
Okay.
We have to get rid of him.
He's
So
being a
he-
real dick tease.
Exactly. So he gathered his people to a banquet under the ruse of collecting contributions to the marriage of Hippodamia, who tamed horses, obviously.
Obviously.
And when Perseus arrives without horses for a gift for Hippodamia, you dick, which was requested,
Hip hop? Hip hopodemia?
the king then says, okay, you didn't come with horses, so I could banish you, basically.
Dare you?
However, I'll let you come back if you can retrieve the head of Medusa, the only quote unquote mortal Gorgon, but she wasn't at this point. She was kind of a monster.
Right.
In hopes that he would not succeed because he knew that Medusa was a monster who turned quote unquote monster who would turn anyone who saw her into stone.
Right. So he knew it was like a suicide mission.
It's a suicide mission. Yeah, exactly.
Right. But quite literally, I want you to know how brave it was of me to listen to her talk just then, because it felt like I was learning a card game. Trying to remember all of those people and all of their roles and what they were doing. And I
know,
stuck
it's
with
very
you the whole time.
Really? Because I felt
I
like you
did.
got really onto Dictys for a while, and that was all that was happening in your head.
Well, no, Dictys was there, and then Hippopotamus was there. And I might not be able to repeat everybody's names, but I know that there was somebody who was getting married, and they were training horses, and so he was supposed to show up with horses, and he didn't, and so then he got in trouble, and now he's got to go get Medusa's head.
That's where we're at right now.
And he's only being sent there because the king wants to fuck his mom.
Period. And that's it. That's where we're at. However,
Spark notes, bitch.
however, Perseus has the guides with him. His guides of Hermes.
Oh,
Hermes, if you will,
right.
and the goddess Athena.
Oh, this bitch again.
Shocker that she wants to help
wanna
kill
talk about mothers.
Medusa. It's said that Athena helped in the killing of Medusa because the girl had been willing to have her beauty compared to Athena. The girl, she was a fool woman at that point.
Yeah.
Leave her alone. 2, why are you still, you've turned this woman into a monster.
Like, get over it.
You're still that threatened by how pretty she is? Could you grow up, Athena?
Grow up, Athena.
Oh my God. Insecure bitches. Like
You're
that blonde bitch.
You're a goddess, right? You're living forever.
Yeah.
Right? Grow up.
Grow up a little bit. I can't stand it. I can't stand.
Could you find something better to do with your time than just hate on people?
Hey girlies, let me speak specifically to the femme presenting or to the girlies right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Other women are not what's stopping you from being with trash men. If anything, they're saving you from being with trash men. They're not your enemy.
No.
Other women are not your enemy. You know the enemy. It's fucking Poseidon. And he's beside us all.
Or he's been beside us all.
He's been inside us all.
He's been inside us all.
So basically, okay. It said that Athena helped in the killing of Medusa. Here we go. So Hermes gives Perseus his winged sandals.
His what?
Winged.
I thought you said
sandals.
weaned. I was like, we
Dicks,
got dicks and we got dick sandals. Got it.
Winged sandals so
Okay.
that he can fly. Okay. And he gives him a sack to store the head in once he takes it.
More dick stuff.
And
Got
then
it.
he gives him Hades' invisibility cape, which honestly, that's on some Harry Potter shit. I didn't even know Hades fucked around like that. I didn't know he had an invisibility cake.
Cake. He's caked up. How you think he's hiding all that ass? He's got that ass and that ability.
I did-
invisibility.
Cake. I know, all big back. But it's invisible. You can't tell. Okay, I didn't know.
He had to hide it, or else Poseidon be like, matter of fact, I'm gonna get Hades too.
That's my brother, dude.
What's up, real bro?
Additionally, Hermes gives him this sickle, which I think a sickle is like a shaped sword situation.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Grim Reaper has, right?
That's
Like
a
a
scythe,
scythe?
but I think a sickle is more like if you ever watch Game of Thrones. I think it's kind of like the swords that are shaped like a C kind
Yeah,
of.
it's what
that
they
the
use to cut like
Dothraki have.
wheat.
Sure.
I think.
I don't know. I think we're talking about such different things. Then you know what? I'm going to look it up. Give me one.
I think you cut wheat with it.
A sickle?
Yeah.
What's a sickle?
What's a sickle with you?
Not sickle cell. Oh my God. I've never been more right in my life. That's exactly what I was describing.
I think you could cut wheat with that.
Okay. Looks like a hook, essentially. Wow. That's so cool. Go me.
Wait, I want to know if you can. I want to know if I get to cheers myself too.
It's designed for cutting crops like grain, grass, and other plants by hand.
Woohoo!
So I would say yes. The curved blade allows for a scooping motion to gather and cut materials. It's a smaller tool
blind
compared.
mice finding nuts and shit, or whatever they say.
That's what we should have named our podcast.
Next time for sure.
Blind mice finding nuts or whatever. Okay, so basically, he's got all these tools. He arrives at the home of the Gorgons while they sleep. As he stood over the sleeping creatures, Athena guides Perseus's hand while he looks into the reflection of a bronze shield. So he's not looking directly at her because you can't.
Right. You can't do that.
And when he does, he tosses the sickle and chops off Medusa's head. This is the part where it gets a little weird because Medusa was pregnant. By whom? I don't know. I don't know if it was still
Ganonite?
Poseidon, but she has a horse. She's pregnant with
She gives birth to a horse?
Pegasus. You remember Pegasus?
Pegasus is
The
Medusa's
child that springs from her neck wound when her head is cut off.
The way my mind is blown right now.
I couldn't wait to get to this part to tell you. And she has another child named Chrysaor. Chrysaor. I don't know if they're human or not.
Okay.
But I do know that Pegasus is the winged horse. That is
Pegasus came from Medusa's head, dude.
neck, yeah. Perseus places the head of Medusa in his satchel that he has.
Yeah.
But as he's leaving, the remaining two Gorgons wake up and try to pursue him. But since he was wearing the invisible cape, they couldn't see him.
Did he also take the horse and he's like, hey, guess what? Now I also have a horse.
I don't know because then
Remember
I'm like,
you wanted a horse too? Here you go.
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
You're so fucking mad at me about this goddamn horse. Guess what? I cut off her head and got a horse
Here
too.
we go.
It was a real BOGO thing.
For real. After slaying Medusa, Perseus uses her head multiple times. So again, this is why Medusa's why people get tattoos of her, and I think why she's become such a big like representation of
Sexual assault.
because her body is used, her head is used even after death in like such a terrible way to hurt people. She's used as a monster essentially even after death. So some versions of the tale say that Ariadne was killed by Artemis, and others say that she was accidentally turned to stone by Perseus after Dionysus made war on Perseus. Another use of Medusa's head was to save Andromeda, who had been tied to a rock as an offering to the sea monster Ketos. Her mother had claimed she was more beautiful than all the Nereids, who flew into a rage upon hearing this and had Poseidon, the god of the sea, on their side. And the only way to stop the sea god's floods and the sea monster was to give up Andromeda. But Perseus fell in love with her the moment that he saw her, and he slew the slay monster. Slay monster? Slay monster! Period. That's what they call me. Slay monster. I'm so sorry. I was trying to be so serious. This is such a dramatic moment. He slew the sea monster. Poseidon?
He killed Poseidon?
I guess so. And he set her free. The only issue was that Andromeda was already engaged to be married to her uncle Phineas? Ew, dude. Perseus made short work of Phineas by turning him to stone.
He said,
with the head of Medusa.
now you're dead.
When Perseus returned
Uncle
to
Phineas.
the island of Seriphos, he turned Polydectes and his people
Dictes,
all to stone with Medusa's head.
Damn, she's powerful even after she's like separated from her body.
I know, and that's how you could turn it. You could flip it. She's not a victim still. She's just like still got that power inside of her that she is decimating these people.
Yeah.
Who are, I think, bad people.
Yeah.
Then he gave the head of Medusa to Athena, who placed it in the center of her shield to terrify her enemies. So all in all, not a great story for Medusa. It is a tale that's very, very sad and tragic.
Yeah.
But it is the reason why Medusa has kind of, in these times, become like the mascot, I guess, for women who have had terrible things happen to them and then been told that it was their fault or been made to be the bad guy in this situation after something horrible has happened to them. This I'll read. It's part of this, the ending of this little one of the
articles.
Thank you that I have. Oh my God. Okay. It says, throughout many myths, Medusa is used as a weapon by other male heroes. There's no other conclusion to Medusa's story. The reader can deduce that she's still with some hero, waiting to be used as a weapon again. The scary part of the myth of Medusa is that she's a rape victim with no support system. It's a story so powerful and relevant today, I couldn't help but cry for Medusa. First, she was abused and punished for it by a woman who had the power to help her. Then she is turned into a monster and her identity was stripped off. It's a tragic story. It's even more tragic that history remembers Medusa as a monster and not the victim that she was. Maybe this is fitting, though. We don't listen to victims now, much less hundreds of years ago, excuse me. Instead, people turn them into something or someone they're not. How many times have you heard the news call a victim an instigator? We turn the people who need our help the most into monsters. Why? Because then it's easier to turn our backs from them. That's from me, not from this article. But I can say that as somebody, that's not just against sexual assault victims. That's against anyone that you may not realize as a victim, but is having horrible things happening to them in recent times in our world.
Yes.
It's easier to turn away from the horrors and not have to help them if you make them littler than they are. If you make them less than what they are.
If
which
you
is
make
that
them
they are,
responsible for the things happening to them.
they're human beings at
Mhm.
the end of the day. But in reality, the real monsters are rapists like Poseidon, abusers like Perseus, and victim blamers like Athena. But most of all, it's the people who actively choose to not look further into a victim's story. This is the primary reason why victims of abuse don't speak up. They're afraid that people will judge them and blame them. It's a very disturbing trend to blame the victim instead of the perpetrator. Long story short, I've been troubled by Medusa's plight ever since I read this version of the story. In a way, as I finished the myth, I realized that I was monstrous for not listening to Medusa's side of the story all these years. Medusa, if you're sitting in a cave somewhere and reading this, I want to say I'm sorry and I believe you.
Oh.
And that's how that article ends.
Who wrote that?
That is, we'll link all of the articles I used, but this article specifically was Dangerous Beauty, the real story of Gorgon Medusa by Sri Jaya.
Okay.
I believe is who that is. It's SreeJaya.
I hate and love that story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think it's a very necessary story to tell because,
444.
oh my God, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because she is, a representation of something that I think, unfortunately, so many of us have went through. And
nobody
continue to.
Nobody talks about how Medusa became this monster. They just talk about her being a monster.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I think that it was a way to dehumanize her, to not tell her beginning part of the story,
right?
Or to say she was a monster from birth, and then, and
also, from what I knew about it before learning anything, was that she enjoyed being a monster.
She was a man-hater.
She was a man-hater. She liked killing people. She liked turning them to stone.
Yeah.
It was like something that she
pleasure.
wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that she had no choice in the matter. It wasn't that she had experienced horrible tragedies.
Yeah.
And that was just like the fall of it. And ultimately, we don't know if this is true or not. We don't know if these are real events that occurred, and we don't know what is like the original of the story or what was rewritten or what wasn't.
I'm sure these could be embellishments of certain things,
right?
But there could be, bits of it that rang true. Obviously, a lot of these stories don't come from nothing,
right?
And that's in all religion. Again, it's a lot of embellishment.
Right.
It's a lot of like fantastical elements of it, But
the point stands that it could have happened either way.
Yeah.
And the fact that there is a lot of truth to somebody having their body taken advantage of and used over and over and over again for somebody else's gain. And then out of a means of survival and just like, now this is how I engage in the world because I have to and I don't have another choice. Like that is a story that is told over and over and over again.
Yep.
That is not just fiction.
Yeah.
That is something that people have to live all the time.
Exactly.
So
that's the story of Medusa, everybody. If there's more and you know of more people who have stories that didn't get told too much in Greek or Roman or any kind of mythology, let me know. I enjoy looking into it. They're fun to me, kind of. It's just different, and the stories are good stories.
Yeah,
that's why they were around for as long as they were. So,
and if you guys have, we talked about how Sierra has her scheduled, and I've been wanting to get one. But if you have Medusa tattoos, I would love to see them.
Yes.
So share them in the Fangens page or tag us on your stories or whatever, so we can see them.
Yes, I would love to.
If you want more, we're about to record a Patreon episode.
Yes, we are.
So you can go check out more content at patreon.com/ladiesandtangents. We're going on tour, and there are some shows I just posted on our Instagram. Some of them are low tickets.
Yes.
So, and some of them I even called Brady into the room and I was like, what would you consider low tickets? Because I'm not sure if I should post it here. And he was like, I think this would consider low tickets. And so I almost put it on a few more.
Yeah. They're getting
there.
close.
So
yeah.
Go get your tickets. See the Girls Gone Mild show come into cities near you. And then, hey, if this leg goes well, we can do more. We've been asked to do more.
Yep.
We're checking out
some new places. So if you really wanted us to come to you, tell your friends in the areas where there's shows to show out, because if we do well this time, we can come to so many more places, and that's ultimately what we want to do, is to bring it to as many different locations as we can.
Yep. So thank you guys for hanging out. That's that on Medusa. We love you so much, and we will see you next week.
All right.
We're out.
Goodbye.